Welcome to Ohio GOP TV. If there's been one constant over the last 4 years in the Ohio Republican Party, it would have to be the steady leadership of House Speaker Jon Husted. Respected and admired on both sides of the aisle, Husted has many accomplishments he can claim, including reducing Ohio income taxes by 21%, reforming Ohio's business taxes, and passing one of the lowest growth budgets in the last 40 years. So as this year draws to a close and Husted prepares to join the Ohio Senate in January, we caught up with him and asked him to reflect on his 8 years in the Ohio House and the last 4 years as Ohio Speaker.
House, come to order.
You've spent the better part of the last decade in the Ohio House, leading Ohio. How have things changed? How has Ohio changed? And kind of where do you see things going?
Well, that's probably the toughest question I'll have in a while, because Ohio's in a time of transition. Our economy is in transition, and we're trying to find a way to transition from the things that made us prosperous in the past to the things that will take us to prosperity in the future. And we have worked a lot on trying to change that economic system that we have in the state and transition ourselves to a more prosperous state built around higher education, on lower taxes, reforming the tax code and things like that, so that we can be prepared to embrace the future. And that's what our job in the legislature and those of us in public office is all about, is how are we figuring out how to make Ohio a more successful, prosperous state so that people will want to live, work, and raise a family here.
The Columbus Dispatch just put out an editorial this past weekend in it saying that you deserve, quote, much of the credit for the General Assembly's improvement during the past 4 years, and called you a consensus builder. Is that the legacy that you hope to leave as Speaker of the House?
Well, I would like to think that we were able to build consensus around important issues. That's part of what leadership is about. And it's also about protecting the institution of the House and the legislature so that people feel that it's responsive and run with integrity. And while there's a lot of other things I think were important, if we were able to accomplish that while I was Speaker, I'm very proud of that.
Talk just briefly about, because obviously coming from the political side of things, Republicans and Democrats like to fight a lot. What has it been like to go from working with a Republican governor to working with Governor Strickland the last couple of years?
Well, they're both different kinds of people, and they have different things that they want to accomplish. And under Governor Taft's leadership as governor, we tried to do the same thing that we did with Governor Strickland's leadership as governor, which is to agree and to move Ohio forward on things that we had consensus on, and to adamantly disagree and fight and hopefully produce some better alternatives when we do disagree. And frankly, I haven't treated it any differently, because I think my job is to run the institution of the House and to do our job as a check and balance on the administration and the administrative powers of the executive branch. And I haven't really treated it any differently. Obviously they believed in different things, and we were able to do a lot of different things under Governor Taft that Governor Strickland didn't want to do. But we didn't pick issues just to fight over politics. We picked honest disagreements and performed our role as the legislative branch of government and put a check on the executive branch whenever it was necessary.
So then, over the 8 years you've been in the House, what is it that you would consider your greatest accomplishment, either as time as Speaker or even before then?
Well, I'm very proud of the tax reform package that we had, and I'll tell you, I tried to lead by setting out a vision and being clear about what I wanted to try to accomplish and building consensus and a direction around those. And what I said when I came is that I wanted to transform and revitalize Ohio's economy to create new and better jobs through fiscal discipline, tax reform, and investment in the new economy. And we passed the two most fiscally conservative budgets in Ohio history under my leadership as Speaker, and including the largest income tax cut in Ohio's history, a 21% across-the-board income tax cut, giving people letting people keep more of what they earn to spend and save on their priorities, cutting taxes for small businesses, and really helping to prime the pump for a state where people are freer to pursue their own course of what they view as the American dream. And I'm proud of that. And also the things that we did on school choice. giving kids an opportunity who are trapped in failed schools a chance to go to a better school and to introduce competition into the educational marketplace. And those things, I think, have really been the kinds of changes in public policy that are going to make a difference in Ohio for many years to come, and those are probably the things I'm most proud of.
So you touched on this already, kind of touching on the economy. As you head into the Senate now, what are some of the biggest challenges facing this state that you hope to be working on, and the things that Republicans out there should be thinking about and interested in?
Well, I think as Republicans, we need to focus on making sure that in this state that we're fiscally disciplined, because we're going to face a lot of tough budget challenges, and there are going to be a lot of people pulling at particularly the status quo interests that are usually accustomed to being taken care of, whether that means raising taxes or not. And we're going to have to say no to some of those folks. And Republicans need to keep a strong voice on fiscal discipline about not running up our nation or our state debt any higher than it is and passing those burdens on to future generations of Ohioans, holding the line on taxes and making sure that we're really doing a top-to-bottom review of state government to see not just if we can cut a line item here or there, but whether or not there are entire functions of state government that just need to go away because they're not serving the people. And that's going to be the dominant question for Ohio and for the Republican Party in the legislature in the next 6 months to a year.
And here's one thing you may not know about Jon Husted. He's quite the football player and was actually a member of the 1989 National Championship team at the University of Dayton. So of course I had to ask, who did he think was going to win the Fiesta Bowl this year? Buckeyes or the Longhorns? Well, he gave us his prediction, and we'll give it to you on Fiesta Bowl Monday, January 5th. Until then, happy holidays.